Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today in this video we are going to play with some jelly plates and some packing tape transfers. And so I'm just going to show you, this is kind of what I use jelly plates for and how I do things with the jelly plates. There's lots of different ways that people use them. So first of all, I have some stencils and I have cut these myself, and I will have to do a video on that sometime. I also have a mesh bag that, oranges come in it, or fruit. It makes really good texture. And so I am just using this jelly plate, and actually the paint I'm using right now in this instance is actually gouache paint. It's just I just got it from Michael's. It's just a little set from Reeves. I think it's like under $10, and it works. I like to have the little tubes while I'm doing jelly plate, whether it's acrylic tubes or whatever, because it's just handy to have those little ones rather than a bunch of my big tubes. And as you can see, I put some color down, a mixture of the green and the blue, and I'm using that mesh to just pick up a little bit of color, but it gives it a pattern too. So I'm picking some of the color back up while it's still wet, but I'm also putting a pattern in there. And then I'm just putting some paint down here on my little craft mat. It's actually not a craft mat, it's like a sticker, those wall sticker backings. Works good for a craft mat. Don't know if it's heat resistance, but whatever. And I'm just stamping some things in there. I'm just trying to add some texture and some interest right now. And this is just a little bit of a darker blue, more of like an ultramarine blue in there. And then now I'm going to be using my script stamp. And lots of times I actually use my script stamps not because I want to see script, but because it's really great for adding just little bits of color, little bits of paint in there. And so I really like my script stamp for that, as well as for actual script. But in this case, I'm not worried about any script showing up. And as you can see, I'm just stamping it right onto that paint and rubbing it around and just having some fun. And now I've got another stencil in there. This is just like a pattern paper. It was like a scrapbook thing. So it's not really a stencil. You're supposed to actually use the paper, but I used it as a stencil. And I just want to pick up some more paint, and so I'm just getting that in there. Rather than picking up like a whole area, I like to use a stencil or some kind of something to put a pattern in there, or to just so that it doesn't pick up so much. But what it does pick up, it leaves a cool pattern behind. Now I am putting packing tape on in just kind of like a striped, wide stripe, in wide stripes, so they're not touching each other. If you want a whole big sheet of it, you'd have to have them overlapping. I don't want them overlapping in this case. And you just want to make sure that it's all pushed down really well. And so with the packing tape, what you see right there on the jelly plate is what you're going to get with the packing tape. Usually when you pull a print with jelly plate, you've got to think in reverse. But in this case, what you see is what you get. I hope you know what I mean by that. So whatever you put down first is what's going to show up at the top of your print. But it's the reverse with this, or any kind of clear laminate kind of thing. So you can see I have some prints left on my jelly plate, and we are going to come back to that. But right now I am actually adding tin foil or aluminum, depending on how you say it and where you're from, just to the back of the sticky part. So it actually sticks really well, and it doesn't really matter. It's just, you can put the dull side or you can put the shiny side. Makes no difference. Just whatever your preference is. And then I just cut it off, and I have a really cool strip that I can use for my art journal, or even in my mixed media canvas pieces. And it's like metallic. It's really cool. Here is another little technique I like to use with the Perlex powder that you can get. I think this one's by Jacquard, and you can buy it in the mixed media section of Michael's, and it comes with a pack of a whole bunch of different colors. Really nice colors. Use your coupon and it's cheaper because I think it's like $35 Canadian for it. But you can see it adds just a really cool effect. And now we're back to the jelly plate, and this is all dried. So this is completely dry, but it's still able to be used. And I am taking a stencil that I cut myself, and I am just going to use my brayer and put some purple and pink paint on there and cover that up. So this will be on top of those wide stripes that we left there. And you just kind of want to make sure it gets good coverage. I think I use a sponge here to kind of move that around a little bit. Yeah, to help just make sure that the paint is in there pretty good. Because sometimes it is hard to get into there depending on your stencil and how detailed it is. So using a sponge can help. And then I am just taking some blue and just even putting some more just right in where the roses are. And of course, we'll come back to the mesh, and I'm picking up some more paint, and I just use this as a way to pick up paint, but I don't want to just pick up, you know, large areas. I want to leave something. I want to leave more texture. I want to leave more interest. So this mesh bag is awesome, and it came with, usually we would just throw that out, but it has a good use to it. And now you can see there is such a cool little print back there. So that is just a really nice background of itself. You could just put that on an art journal page and be done with it. I am now adding, this is all dry now. I've let it dry completely. So now I am adding a Quatrefoil stencil onto it, and you might think, why is she adding more? It's good the way it is. Yeah, it was, but I wanted to add more, and I'm just showing you the different paints I've used. There I was using Americana paints, and that's my gouache, and I also use De La Rowney, actually in Walmart, has some really good little tubes of just acrylic paint, and I use those, and I just like to have the little tubes or the little things with my jelly plate, which I have already mentioned. And I also, when I pick up paint, I also use that, like this, you can see the tracing paper there, or jelly paper, I'm not sure which one it was. That will become another print as well. So even when you pick up the paint, you can use that with the paper. And now I'm just putting the stencil down and brayering that on. Sometimes I get something, sometimes I don't, but might as well try. And now I am just adding my final layer. So that was all dry. You want to make sure that those layers dry, otherwise they just get mixed in there. So all of that is dry now. When you pick up paint, when I pick up paint through the paper or through the mesh, that's still wet. But now when I want to pull a whole thing, it has to be dry, and then I add the paint, and then I pick it up as soon as possible with that last layer being wet. I don't wait with that last layer. When you're adding more layers, you've always got to wait wait till everything's dry before you add that other layer of paint. When you add the last layer, you pick it up wet, because that wet paint picks up everything, or hopefully everything. Hopefully, if you've done it right, it picks up everything. And look at how pretty that is. It's just so, I love the colors, and it's like a really nice rose. And that was originally from the packing tape pattern that I left behind, and that's why I did that, and I didn't cover the whole thing, and I just did it in wide stripes. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do enter my giveaway. The way you enter my giveaways is you have to watch every video in the playlist. I have 2 going on right now, so make sure you check that out. This one is currently in the playlist for a big giveaway that I'm doing at the end of the year. And you have to watch every video, you have to comment on each video, and you have to be subscribed to me, and you have to leave a thumbs up or thumbs down in each video. I also have another giveaway where I'm giving away some Jane Davenport books that she sent me actually to do a giveaway. So definitely check that one out, and it has its own playlist as well. So I am adding more videos to this playlist, so make sure you click the little notification bell so you can be notified of every video.